let's see. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-ba-da-ba. Oh, dear God. Yep, that's definitely working. Let's shut that off. Do the posting. But up. There we go. And da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Boop. And there it is. Let's do this. All right. Excuse me. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Mobius Y here. Time of recording this Tuesday, May something. I've kind of lost track of what day it is. Tuesday, May 5th. Yes, I knew that. Totally did. Tonight, doing something different. Playing a little No Man's Sky. Because I kind of wanted to do something different. Why, you might be asking? I really needed breaks from Stellaris. That's just the honest truth. But also, some people, I've been talking about it a little bit in the Stellaris streams, and some people have mentioned that they would watch me play it if I streamed it. So we're going to be doing that. I'm just going to jump into play game, and we're going to load my save file where I have almost 200 hours. I've been playing it quite a bit lately while I've not been going to work, and been having a lot of fun. So, one sec. Excuse me. So this game's been out for almost 4 years, and I think a lot of people wonder, is it worth getting to play in 2020? And my immediate answer is yes, absolutely. If you're into this type of game, where it's a space exploration sandbox, there's a lot of stuff to do, and I do mean a lot of stuff to do. I'll actually go over some of that stuff that you can do for those of you who have not seen this before. You know, there are some overarching kind of missions, or I should say objectives. Like the one objective that's been around since the game launched is to get to the center of the galaxy. And when you do that, it actually warps you to the next galaxy. And you do the same. You can do the same thing, and then you can continue reaching the core of each galaxy and just going to the next galaxy over and over and over, if you want to. There was an actual story-based mission path added with an update from, I want to say, back in 2017, called Atlas Rises. It's very, very mysterious and a little bit weird, and it really brings out that kind of sense of exploration and discovery, because it's cool what you do. It kind of starts off where you contact a mysterious being called Artemis, and you're trying to figure out where they are and how you can contact them further. That's kind of how it starts out, but that's not how it continues, definitely. There's a lot more to it than that. What the heck was I just looking at? Oh, the freighter, right. Okay, how many of these do I have? I think I have like 20. Oh my gosh. So there are definitely overarching things that you can do, but there's all sorts of little stuff you can do as well. For example, when you come into a space station now, there's two sides from the landing pads. That's the exit over there. On the right-hand side, there's some merchants where you can go buy technology upgrades for things like your multi-tool, your starship, that kind of stuff, basically your equipment. And over here on the left, there is this cartographer that you can purchase these little planetary charts from, where they'll give you a waypoint to a building of interest that you're looking for. And those buildings will have things in them. But you can also talk to this mission agent, and this guy provides you with different kinds of missions from different factions. You can get missions like racial-based missions. For example, this is from one of the in-game races called the Korvax. And then there's missions from the Explorers Guild, the Mercenaries Guild, and the Trading Guild that you can accept and go and do as well. So there are like set things that you can go do if you're looking for a more structured kind of adventure. If you like having, that's what I'm looking for. If you like having a direct goal in mind and you just want to go do it and complete it and get some stuff and then possibly move on to the next one, you can do that. Definitely in this game. And as you complete more missions for each guild, you actually level up in your standing with them and can take more different missions with them. There's also other little... Whoa, why is my... No, shh. I don't know why that alarm just went off. What's going on, Tony Knott? Hopefully you didn't hear my alarm just now. Give me a sec here, buddy. I'm going to reboot the Twitch app on my phone. Boop, boop. There we go. Because I was no longer really following in real time. There we go. Okay, what's going on, Tony Knott? Thanks for coming by, buddy. There's also other things you can do that aren't directly hinted at, but you kind of catch on that you can do them. When you start off, you have a much smaller exosuit inventory, for example, so you can go through the motions to expand your inventory. There's different sections of your exosuit inventory, such as general, where you put just some basic stuff. This is where you want to put like your most commonly used stuff. You got the technology section where you can put in upgrades and the like. This is currently upgraded to max size right now, and then you've also got cargo, which actually can last I played this when they first had this set up like this, your cargo inventory spaces could hold twice as much as an inventory slot in your general inventory. I don't know if that's still true, but your cargo space is like a kind of a second inventory screen that you carry with you in your exosuit. The same thing goes with your starship. Your starships have various class ratings. For example, mine's S-class, so it's the best in theory. And there's different types of starships. For example, you can get some fighters, you can get shuttles, you can get exploration ships. So you can actually go through the motions to try and find a better ship and either trade in your current ship for it or build up enough money that you can just buy a better one. And you can actually have you can actually have multiple starships once you get a freighter. And again, now this is actually kind of new. You can actually upgrade your starship inventory as well. When I first got this ship, it only had 17 inventory slots. I've since upgraded it, and now it has 6, 12, 31. And you can also upgrade the technology size. There's also multi-tools, which do a similar thing. They have a class rating ranging from C to S. I have an A class. And there's also different types. There's rifles, there's pistols, there's exotic, that kind of stuff. So you can actually go through the motions to try and save up enough money to buy a better multi-tool or trade in for a better multi-tool once you find one, or just try to find a better multi-tool, and again, get an upgrade on that, and then get better equipment on it. So for example, by upgrading the multi-tool, you can get things like upgrades to your mining beam, which is what gathers your resources. You can get upgrades to your weapons, like the bolt caster or the scatter blaster. You can get upgrades to your visor or your scanners, which helps you with scanning on planets. You get more money when you scan undiscovered planets, or not planets, undiscovered plants and animals on planets. The other thing you can do, and this was added, this was not in the base game, it was added sometime later, and with the Foundation update, you can get a freighter, and you can actually go through the motions to try to find a better freighter with more inventory slots, or just one that you think looks cooler. And your freighter is kind of like a mobile base. You can actually build bases on planets that you like, if you so choose, but you can also build a base in your freighter if you want, which is pretty cool. Rod, what the hell are you doing, dude? Go play whatever you were playing on your PC. Good to see you, man. I would like to note that this game is actually pretty loud normally. I went into the options and I turned the volume way down. Usually I have the music at 90 and the sound effects at like 60. And that is like super loud. So if while I'm flying around, the ship noise is just overpowering my voice and it's a lot harder to hear me, let me know, and I'll turn down the in-game volume even more. So we just left the space station, It's not the only thing we can land on when we're flying around. I've never played this, kind of interested to see it. Oh, it's a different experience, man. So most star systems have a space station where you can go to and you can enact trades by interacting with the trade monitor, so you can sell some excess stuff and get some more money. There's also life forms in there that you can interact with to do things like learn their language and stuff. And when we're flying around in space, you can fly around and point your cursor at a planet and scan it by clicking the left stick, and it'll tell you the kind of planet that it is. If it's never been discovered before, it'll also give you its name and whatnot. So this is a noxious planet, and on it I can find fungal mold plants. I can also find the resources copper, ammonia, and cobalt. So a noxious planet is if I land on it, it's actually a toxic atmosphere. So it can be somewhat dangerous. Maybe not. This is a moon. It's an empty moon. Really? Empty moon. I gotta go check that out, I think. This is a high temperature planet, so it's hot. And it has some different resources on it. It has solanium, which is a different type of plant that only grows on hot worlds. There's also copper on it. But there's also phosphorus and sodium in ample amounts. And then there's one more planet, which was over here with the rings. Unknown planet. And I scanned it, and it's called Nutribec. It's a windswept planet. Actually, I don't know what that is. Cactus flesh, so I'm guessing it's a desert planet. Again, there's copper, but there's also pyrite and cobalt in ample amounts. So if I needed those resources, I could fly to those planets. Now, the type of resources on each planet depends on what kind of planet it is. For example, pyrite is only on desert worlds. Same with cactus flesh. It's only naturally on desert worlds. Now, if I go over to this one, which was the high temperature planet, there's solanium and phosphorus. Those only show up on hot worlds. There's still copper. Now, the reason why copper is on every planet is because, well, you can't tell by looking at it when you're in your ship, but in the galaxy map, if we looked at this system in the galaxy map, it's a yellow star, and a yellow star system has each planet on it will have deposits of copper, which is right here, this yellow resource. There's also other stars like red stars which have cadmium. There's green stars that have emerald, and there's blue stars that have indium. And they're just they're pretty much the same as copper in terms of what they're used for. They're largely the same. Sometimes you have to use these different ones to construct different things or for different reasons. But for the most part, when you refine them, they create the same refined chromatic metal, and you get more chromatic metal for each thing of indium that you refine, for example. So it's just more efficient to do it that way. There's some other stuff you can do too. So a bunch of these capital ships actually just warped in. So this big ship is a freighter, which I mentioned earlier, and you can get one. They actually made it where you can get one for free pretty damn early in the game. And bigger freighters will have more inventory space. They'll look cooler. This, that, and the other thing. Not only can you get a freighter, but if we look at this symbol here on this little ship, this is a recruitable frigate. So I'm going to fly up to some of these, and we're going to hit down on the D-pad, use the Starship communicator to communicate with this frigate. And they're basically asking me, hey, do you want to recruit us into your fleet of frigates? And you can actually use your fleets of frigates to send them out on expeditions to other star systems from your freighter. And they will actually get resources for you. So let's take a look at what this kind of freighter is. So it's an exploration specialist freighter. So there's 4 ratings. There's 4 values that determine how good a freighter is at certain things. So there's a combat value, there's an exploration value, which this one's really high because it's an exploration specialist freighter. There's industrial, and there's trade. So there's industrial freighters, there's trade freighters, and there's combat frigates. Or sorry, frigates. I was saying freighters the whole damn time. So this is an exploration frigate. I could actually buy it for some 2 million units if I wanted to, but It seems to have some negative um, effects. I can't quite see all of them. There's one over here that says something exploration. I can't tell if it's a positive or a negative though. But there's poorly aligned ballast +2 cost per warp and inefficient engine +2 cost per warp. I don't like those. So plus it requires 13 tons per 250 light years. That's actually kind of high. So I'm not gonna recruit that frigate. Let's see if we can find the next one. This guy. This one here looks like an industrial frigate. So we'll fly close to him, communicate with it. Traveler, do you seek new starship entities for your fleet? Let's inspect the frigate. Our vessels shall be yours. Let's take a look-see. Pretty bare bones, but not a lot of fuel requirements. Only 9 tons for 250 light years. I try to look for ones that only cost like 8. Cost less than 2,000 units, or sorry, 2 million units. Not that money's a problem. I have 39 million right now. And it doesn't really have any outlying bonuses, so like its values here are pretty low. So I'm actually going to decline that. I don't really want that one. So by looking at the top of the screen as I spin around, you'll see there's a lot of those green recruitable frigate icons. I don't really want to check them all out, because, let's face it, I don't really care, and there's more stuff to do. Now this symbol is a freighter symbol, so we can actually land on this freighter. Only these ones that have these docking ports. The previous one that we flew to, it didn't have this kind of docking bay. We were unable to land on it. Actually, that was another ship that just flew past us. So I'm going to land on this freighter. We're going to go talk to the captain. We'll take a look at this. So, see, this is an NPC's ship that has landed in here as well. We can run up and interact with the pilot of this ship, just like as if we were on a space port. So we can talk to this guy. Hey, what's going on? So we can trade with them by buying stuff. That we can sell our stuff to them, we can buy stuff from them, or we can make an offer on their starship by either trading our current starship for this one, or just buying it outright. See, we can buy it for 8.5 million units, or we can exchange it. And what this does is it would exchange the starship I'm in right now, and it subtracts the cost of my starship from the cost of his starship, and we would trade. I don't want to do that though, because that's idiotic. Launch system recharger. Really? I gotta get me one of those. I didn't know that thing existed. Probably don't know what I'm talking about, but that's fine. So this is actually a pretty decent ship. It's an A-class exploration kind of ship with 28 inventory slots. My exotic ship has 31. And it only costs 8.5 million, but I don't really need it. I see you there, Ryantium, don't worry. I don't really need it, so I'm just going to decline. But that's one way you can interact with the NPCs in this game. So here in the docking bay, or the landing bay, I suppose you could call it, of the freighter, not much goes on, just ships flying in and flying out. If this was my freighter, the other ships that I have, which is only about 2 of them, they would be on some of these landing pads, and I could go jump into one of them, and one of those then becomes my active starship that I can, you know, trade with somebody else, or I'm using it to fly around to other planets. So here in the freighter, when we walk up from the landing bay, if we run straight ahead, we reach the bridge. Straightforward. Every freighter is like this. If this was in my freighter, this is the navigator. You talk to him to set up expeditions for your frigates, and there's a couple other terminals here that you can use to interact with your freighter. But this is the captain. I need Stellaris update. Don't we all, Chrono? Don't we all? 1 week, buddy. Stay patient. Welcome, what you hear. Blah, blah. Now you'll notice that I can't fully understand what this guy is saying. I'll talk about that in just a second for guys like Tony Knott who have not seen this game before. An air of weary authority clearly marks this being as the freighter's captain. Do they tire of the burden of ownership? I wonder. The responsibility for the life and livelihood of their crew must weigh heavy on their mind. They seem amenable to an offer. A freighter brings access to a large inventory, a hangar bay in which to store multiple ships, and space in which to construct an orbital base. So I can offer to buy the freighter, and I can look at what the freighter is like. If it looks cool, if it has a decent amount of inventory. It's a kind of basic design. It's a B class though, so not too bad. But it only has 17 inventory slots, which is not very good. How much for technology slots? Just the usual 5. So we'll, just for the hell of it, we'll do a quick compare. We'll actually go look at my freighter at some point. My freighter's also a B class, but it has way more slots, 31 inventory slots, and it costs 16 million compared to... Do you have the mech? I love it. No, I don't, actually. I'm going to try to figure out how to get that. So I don't want to trade for this freighter at all. The freighter I have is way better. So I'm going to run back down to the back side here. So if this was my freighter, I could actually use this space on the sides to construct a base. You can actually have hallways coming through these walls here. The only spots you can't actually build in is this hallway from the docking bay to the bridge. You can't delete that, but you can delete literally everything else or construct all around where I'm standing right now. So there's every freighter has like a default kind of storage area in the back here. It's got this big open area that you can mess around with and turn it into whatever you want if you so choose, if you buy this freighter. But you can also just delete all this stuff and get all the resources to build these hallways. So in this instance, I'm just going to check out these containers, which all have stuff in them. Nothing super fancy, nothing fantastic, but it's free stuff, so I'm not going to complain. So let's go back to the docking bay, which is down the ramp here. Beautiful. And then we'll get back to our starship in just a moment. So I mentioned that talking to the freighter captain, not everything is fully translated. There's a reason for that. When you start the game, I'm going to go to my milestones. When you start the game, here's all these milestones. There's one here, words collected. One of the things you can do in this game is complete these milestones just for the sake of completing them. And one of the things is words collected. There's 3 main types of life forms in this game. There's the Gek, the Vy'keen, and the Korvax. On top of the guilds that I mentioned that you can get missions from, you can also get missions from these specific life forms. The Korvax, the Vy'keen, and the Gek. So the Gek, I've collected 277 Gek words. I've visited 15 of their systems. I've completed 6 missions for them, and my standing is maxed out at Trade Lord. Like, it's as high as it can be. So the Gek like me. And I've learned a decent amount of their words. Not a lot, but a decent amount. The Vy'keen, again, my standing is super high with them. I've visited 17 of their systems. I've completed 8 missions for Vy'keen NPCs. Not Viking. Vy'keen. I've only learned 223 of their words, though, so they're a little bit more difficult to understand than Gek when I'm talking to Vy'keen NPCs. However, with the Korvax, max standing again, I've only completed 6 missions. I've visited 16 of their systems, but I've learned 432 of their words. So whenever I'm interacting with a Korvax NPC, most of their speech is understandable. Well, not most, but a lot more of it is understandable. So these are things you can actually do just for the hell of it. There's numerous ways you can learn words. Most of them are on, well, not most of them, but a couple of them are on planets. But you can also learn words by interacting with NPCs in the spaceports. One of the interaction options is request dialogue, or request dialect help, I believe is how it's worded. Oh my god, I think I just got myself stuck. No, maybe not. Good. So you can actually interact with alien NPCs and learn their language, which is pretty cool. Now, I need to double check what the hell I was doing. So I go back here, I'm going to go to the log. I need to hidden bust up, kill creatures? I have 2 missions to kill creatures on a planet's surface. Okay. We will do that, I guess. That's kind of malicious, but alright. Okay, so out here in our ship, there's a couple things we can do while we're in our ship. I can summon my freighter and have it warp to this system, if I so choose. Scan for trade outpost. Okay. I just found a trading outpost on one of these planets using my scanner. Alright. So we can actually fly to it if I so chose, but we're not going to do that. There's also this thing called the space anomaly. This is kind of like, I do believe this is the Nexus, where you can go inside and it's really messed up and you can interact with other people. It's a pretty cool addition since last year's update. There's also there's two anomaly types though. There's one where you can go get missions from the NPCs inside, and the other one is where you interact with other players. But I'm going to go to the galaxy map. So here in the galaxy map, it's a lot more complicated than just Stellaris. So I need to deselect the system I'm in, and we can freely fly around. So this big white light in the distance, that's the galactic center. So like I said, that could be an end goal. If you look in the top left, it says how far away I am from the galactic core, the camera, not my current position, but the camera. I'm over 700,000 light years away from the galactic core, so to actually get to the core, it would take a while. But it's something you can, you know, it can be an end goal if you so choose. And then you can also select different kind of pathing options. Like I've just got free explore selected right now, so it's basically me saying I just want to run around the galaxy and go where I want. But if you want, if there are specific objectives you're going for, like you're looking for the next Atlas station, see there's, it's very tough to see, but there's a thin red line leading me to these systems to jump to find the next Atlas station, and you can do the same thing for the quote-unquote fastest path to the galactic core if you so choose. Now I've got no filters active, so like I said, the system we're in, is this where I am? No, that's not where I am. Where the hell am I? Oh, there I am. So the system we're in, like I said, it's a yellow star, so I can actually... Oh, God, I love the music swell as you zoom in towards the center of the galaxy. So sci-fi. Yeah, it actually... it's that sound when you move towards the core, and it's this sound when you move the camera away from the core. Very different. They're both very sci-fi, but I like the tinkling when you have the camera away from the galactic core. It's pretty cool. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to move to this star system. It says it's Obai pin, but I named it the Votar's Adventurers Pole Star just so I know what to look for. And the reason why I want to go here is because there's that freighter symbol. That's because that's my freighter that is in this system. We're going to warp there. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Actually, the music in this game is, like Stellaris, one of the major positive points. The music in this game is really good. It's very ambient a lot of the time, and it really helps set the mood. And it changes depending on what you're doing. Like, if you're just running around, if you're just sitting there on a planet, it'll be a lot more mellow. But when you start running around, there might be actual other tracks of the melody of the actual song that kick in, depending on what you're doing. Like when you start running around or when you start mining resources, stuff like that, and it'll sound fairly different once you get into combat too. Okay, so Votar's Prime, that's the main world. So if I look at these two symbols down here, one's for my base, which is on the planet. I have one on the planet too, but there's also a symbol for my capital ship, which is my freighter. We're going to engage the super fast pulse drive. Oops, it's going to my base. If you point your reticule at exactly the waypoint you want to go to, like a space station or something, your ship will, and then you activate your pulse drive, your ship will tend to go towards that particular waypoint. So we have actually got a damaged frigate that came back from the expedition. Isn't there cool animals and stuff on different planets? Yes, there is. We'll check them out in just a second. So we're actually going to fly into my freighter in just a second and take a look at a very poorly laid out freighter base. Why is this taking so long? I broke the game. It's super slow docking. We'll actually land on Votar's Prime in just a second, Tony Knott, because we're going to take a look at the base that I started constructing, and it's like a major work in progress. I've been working on it for like 2 years, but I've scrapped it, deleted it, and started over again. So there's another NPC ship, but these two ships back here are mine, because my main ship is the Boogle Slapper Alpha, and then a similar looking ship is the Boogle Slapper Beta, and that is my cargo ship in the back. It has a lot of inventory slots. I called it the... I don't know what it is. It's not I called it the Happily Truckin', but that's not what it says. What's this ship? Huh, somebody landed their fighter in here. So let's go up here. Now you'll see almost right away once we get up into my personal frigate that the layout's different. So the hallways don't branch off to both sides right away. That's the first thing you might notice. But up here, this is the navigator. I can talk to him. We'll dispatch a frigate expedition in just a minute. This is the captain. Usually you talk to these guys when you want to buy their frigate. But I don't need to talk to him right now. So we're going to go over here. I actually built just a little kind of storage area over here where we have a galactic trade terminal if I just have some extra crap that I want to sell. And then I've filled it with these boxes, but several of these boxes, namely these green ones and these cylinders, they're actually fabricators, so every time I come up and check them out, I can search them and I just get some free crap. It's just super basic resources, but it's free crap. You know, if anything that reduces me having to go extract or mine more resources and gives me a couple basic components to construct stuff I need, or sorry, craft stuff that I need right away, that works for me. So we got that, and then we're going to go back in this other direction over here. So these are actually fleet command rooms. Since I have two, I can send two frigate fleets at the same time on different expeditions. So we're going to talk to this one because this frigate expedition is done. Calibrating, blah, blah, blah. Debrief. And it actually goes through a log. Tested experimental robot crew on planet Dover. Drone team were instructed to collect valuable minerals. Drone performance, excellent. Operation successful. We collected 6 neural ducts. And then next log entry. Merchant in blah 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 system offered share of their solar power generation business. Bought out entire enterprise. Sold off assets for immediate profit. We got 389,993 units. So that's money. And then we discovered another discovery data worth 378,000 something other units. So you can actually read these. It's pretty cool. Most of these are just going to be units. Lots of units. We're getting almost 400,000 on several of them. Oh, we got 316 units of activated cadmium, which is a resource. We got another 373,000 units. There's another 257,000 units. We got 7 relatticed arc crystals. We can sell those. We got 3 superconductors. We can sell those if we wanted, but they're a good crafting item. 366,000 units, 359,000 units. Deployed cartographic drones, blah, blah, blah. Filing to Universal Archive. Okay. We got 7 pieces of uranium. We got 224 units. Whoop-we-doo. I recalled a frigate because it was damaged. I recalled another frigate because it was damaged, and then they came home. So that ends the expedition. All the stuff that they brought back with them is immediately added to my inventory. So all of those units we got, I now have 42.6 million units. So we went up almost 3 million units from that single expedition. And when I go check out the freighter, the stuff that we got, the activated cadmium, the relatticed arc crystals, the neural duct, and the uranium, so just some random stuff, is now in the frigate's inventory. I'm going to move some of it into my inventory because I'm going to be selling most of it. So let's move that, and neural duct here as well. Oh wait, maybe I want to keep the neural duct here. Where'd it go? There it is. Scientific components. Okay, well we're going to sell them regardless. The other thing that I built in my freighter is this huge-ass room. It has a metric fuck-ton of hydroponics bays where I grow plants that normally you have to visit individual different kinds of worlds to get this stuff. But because I visited all those worlds a billion years ago, I started growing plants, so I basically have a space farm, a big goddamn space farm in my freighter. It's super handy. I just fly. It's like, oh, I need a specific kind of plant resource. I just fly up here to my freighter, pick the plants that I need it from, and then I'm out of here. There's also a couple other rooms in the back there. There's extra storage compartments in the back off in this direction. That's one straight ahead there. There's about 9 or 10, I believe. And then in this room, there's several refiners where we can throw in different kinds of resources and refine them into more valuable as well as more, well, for lack of a better term, refined resources. you need to refine some resources to their more advanced components to craft more advanced materials. So let's go ahead and talk to the navigator. We're going to dispatch another frigate expedition. Actually, we need to fix one of the frigates first, don't we? Okay, so let's have a look here. We have 5 expeditions to choose from. They all have difficulty ratings ranging from 1 star to a maximum of 5 stars, but this is the hardest one apparently, 3 stars. And we'll take a look at what's going on there. Razor, good to see you. Jeremy, thanks for coming by again, buddy. And there's a bunch of new people in here. VNK, thanks for coming by again. Virgo Pros, good to see you. Remastino, pretty sure you've been here before. And Haiku. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Okay, so this is what we use the navigator for. Now, the things that we're looking at when we're sending our frigates on an expedition is what kind of expedition is it? So these two are balanced. So remember, there was the 4 different types. There was the trading, the combat, the industrial, and the exploration kind of frigates. But those are also the kinds of expeditions that you can send your frigates on. So these two are balanced expeditions. This one's a voyage of discovery, so if I had more exploration frigates, they would probably excel at that. This is an industrial expedition, so industrial frigates would do better. And then this is a combat patrol, so combat frigates will be more useful on this. The other things you're looking for is the duration. These are real time, so you could actually send a 14... I've had expeditions that are 26 hours. So you can actually queue up an expedition, send them away, and then not play this game again for a little over a day, and then it will finish. Like, these happen in real time. Very similar to like sending your fleets out in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, for example. So the longer expeditions tend to also cover a longer distance. And so this one covers 2,430 light years, as opposed to, for example, these shorter ones that only cover 1,482 light years. That just means we'll need more frigate fuel for this expedition to complete itself. So we're just going to send these guys out on a combat patrol because it's the most difficult one. I don't know why I want to do the most difficult one. I just feel like it. Now this frigate is damaged from the last expedition, so we're not going to send that. But we're going to send this combat frigate and these 2 combat frigates, and then we can actually assign a maximum of 5 frigates. So we're also going to send, I don't know. Let's send our exploration frigate and our trade frigate because they have better combat values. So our total combat value is 95. That just means that it's pretty likely that they'll do a good job. And then it says fuel required 300 tons. You need at least 300 tons of frigate fuel. It's a craftable item, so if we didn't have enough, I'd immediately have to back out and go find enough materials to craft enough frigate fuel. But we don't need to do that, so we can launch the expedition. Those ships fly away, and we're not going to see them again until this expedition finishes. Now we can also check on the status of the expedition by going back to the fleet command station, this one, because it has its ships floating. So we can actually talk with the commander of that expedition and see how things are going if we so choose. Or we can order them to come back like right now, but that's dumb, so we're not going to do that. Let's fly down to the planet, because Tony, you want to see some creatures, don't you? We can actually look at creatures by hitting start and going to discoveries. Oops, sorry, I went too far. Discoveries. So in the discoveries screen, you can look at all the different star systems you've been to that, either you've discovered or other people have discovered. For example, Algolia 1, my buddy Striker 93175 discovered that. That's what has that little person symbol there. This one was discovered by Big Moist, so somebody else discovered it. Big Moist discovered all of these. Nas Online discovered that. But a whole bunch of places I have discovered. Like half a dozen weird places discovered by me. You can actually open up that particular star system, and it'll show you the different planets in it, if the planets have been discovered. So we're going to take a look at That's So Metal. And it'll open up the planetary screen. If any fauna, which is animals, have been discovered, you can check them out here. You can also check out the plants that have been discovered. Some weird looking plants on this planet, believe me. And then you can also check out the minerals that people have discovered on this. And this is only if you visited that system yourself already. So you can actually check that out in the Discovery screen. It kind of keeps track of where you've been and what you've encountered yourself, which is pretty cool. But the best thing to do is go down to a planet yourself and see what's there. Now, this planet, Votar's Prime, I've spent so much time on it, I've discovered just about everything there is. There's like one more creature that I have not discovered myself just yet. But apart from that, pretty sure I've got it covered. Now this is actually my base. I've built some landing pads on it. Normally, these landing pads won't be here. But because I learned the technology and I had the resources to build these landing pads, I made a few landing pads for people to land their ship. That way it doesn't cost any fuel when they take off again from my base. So it's just a long hallway that leads down to the other landing pads. And up here on the top floor, there's another door to get out if you want. I put a trade terminal right there, just for people that want to sell all their crap really quickly. We can run through this angled hall. Whoa, what the hell? I got a tree growing in my base. Beautiful. Let's get rid of that. This is normal. This game is everything is procedurally generated in this game, such as where plants appear, where resources appear, where special things appear. So I've had this happen numerous times where I fly away from the base, I come back to the base, and a tree that I had previously like demolished because I harvested it sprouts back up, and it'll be inside my base. So we just dropped down that shaft there, and we are in my underground farming area. It's a lot smaller than the one on my frigate because I just didn't have the resources. And I also have a crap load of solar panels in here. I don't know why these work inside. That'll probably get patched, but you can power your base with different stuff. You need either solar panels, which are the most efficient and the most hands-free, or biofuel reactors, which burn certain resources, so you have to constantly put more resources in them. And either the solar panels or the biofuel reactors will generate power for you while they're running. And these batteries will store power. The reason why I have these batteries is because these solar panels are only active and generating power during the daytime. So these batteries, any extra power that the solar panels generate, gets stored in these batteries. And then these batteries actually power the base over the course of the night, while these solar panels are sitting there doing nothing. So dark hours remaining, less than 3 minutes, and then these solar panels will kick back in, and they'll power the base up themselves right away. See where it says grid power usage, 960 kp used, 0 kp available. That just means that there's no biofuel reactors or solar panels that are generating power right now, but I'm using up 960 every second. With all the hydroponics farms and different things in the base, like lights and stuff. So the power storage, that's how much I have stored in the batteries total. And you can see it's getting used up, but they will definitely not run out in 2 minutes. So the base will remain powered throughout the night, so we're good. Let's go back upstairs really quickly. Now all this stuff, I built all this. I had to do it myself. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? Pre-design or anything, or what the heck's that word? It was not prefabbed or anything like that. I built all this garbage myself. So I got a big room up here. We go down this ladder hole, and now we're in here, which is actually like the kind of sort of pseudo-front main entrance, and it's on a different floor altogether. I've got more solar panels and batteries on either side. I've got this here. This is a base terminus teleporter. I can use this to teleport to any previous space station or somebody else's base if they have one of these teleporters, if I've been to their base before, or if I have another base elsewhere with a teleporter, I can use this. And you can use this to instantly travel halfway across the galaxy if you so choose. It's super handy. Super handy, but it requires power. Just one of the many things in the base that is powered. There's more solar panels there. Then we go down one more floor, and you have some specialists in your base. This is the Overseer. He's the first one you get. He's the first specialist you get. He's the guy that starts unlocking some basic construction templates for you to build, to construct bases and stuff. And through each of these doorways, I've got different specialists. This is the weapons specialist. He's got a multi-tool over there on the counter. I could trade for that multi-tool. He'll also sell me multi-tool upgrades. This is the scientist specialist. He sends me off on missions, and you can do missions for him. But he also gives you construction templates for stuff to build in your base. This is the farming specialist. He sends you off on some missions initially to collect plants so that he can make seeds for you, and then you learn the recipe to plant those plants yourself and cultivate them in your own farms, either outside or in a hydroponics bay. So he can actually send you off on missions as well. The overseer also sends you on missions pretty regularly. This is the exocraft specialist. So basically your vehicle specialist. He gives you designs on how to build different vehicle bays so that you can get access to, they're called your exocraft. They're different kinds and they're pretty cool, but he also sends you on missions. And then we'll go down one more level, and I've got some utilities here. Oh, that's my one complaint about ladders. So before you build a base, you have to lay down one of these base terminals to kind of claim the area, and then nobody else can lay a terminal too close to this one. It's considered your area on the planet. I put a save point so that I can quickly save the game if I want to in my base, and I've got a couple refiners in here as well if I need to refine any materials. Let's go outside. How's that for an interesting creature? This is the Votar's Raptor. Pretty cute guy. He's got like mouse ears, a lizard face. He's got, you know, raptor legs, and then glowy crap on his back. Yeah, some of the creatures you see in this game, they're weird. They're procedurally generated, and some of them are weird, but not just weird in terms of, you know, it's like a genetic nightmarish mashup of crap, but also there's some straight up weird creatures on weird worlds. Oh man, what the hell? Those things never load. There's supposed to be these long-ass metal poles sticking out from the bottom of this construction piece and sticking in the ground, making it look like, you know, that it's like a foundation piece that's holding it up. Here's an example of our exocraft. This is the Colossus. It's the big, tanky, high cargo space thingy. Pretty much, you've got the what is this? This is the Nomad. It's supposed to be the fast, maneuverable, low cargo space kind of thing. You've got the Roamer, I believe it is. Yes, the Roamer. This is kind of a blend between cargo space and maneuverability and speed. And then there's the Pilgrim, which is your motorbike. You can jump in these, use them to explore the planet. There's also a water exocraft called the Nautilon. You can see it. There's that symbol there, your exocraft. It's underwater. It's a little submarine. You can use it to explore the oceans. It's pretty cool as well. That was added with its own separate update that improved underwater exploration. So here we got some little mantis crab thingies. I don't know what to call them. Most creatures in this game are scared of you. They run away. But you can actually craft food to feed them, and they'll start to like you a little bit. This is a giant Venus flytrap. We're going to ignore him, because he actually does do damage to you. I don't know what this guy is, but it was clearly the strangest land-based creature that I saw on Votar's Prime, by far. Okay, so, fun fact. Rod probably remembers this. Oh, he's gone. Prod USMC. He was here. Back in the old day, you could get, if you encountered another player, it would plop a marker down. This acts as a monument. It's basic, and it basically just says, hey, this is where these two players met, which is pretty cool. So on the planet itself, there's a lot of stuff you can do besides just gather resources. Now, all these plants, all these trees and whatnot, I could pull out my multi-tool, zap them with the mining laser, and get resources from them. Like this big tree over here, I'd get resources from it. This big tree, I'd get resources from it. This tiny little leafy thing, I get resources from it. This rock, it gives you resources. This rock gives you resources. Most everything you see gives you resources. There's also these little crystals. Every planet has these blue crystals. There's also red and yellow ones, and they give you some of the most basic resources in the game that you need, like, all the time. So you'll see those on every planet. They're very handy. Not every planet has foliage, like simple trees like this one. Sometimes it's really weird looking stuff. I was on a planet just a few days ago where some of the foliage looked like the giant tripods from War of the Worlds. I'm not joking. It was a really weird planet. We could probably go check it out in a little bit here. So I ran up to this thing. It's damaged machinery, and by inspecting it, it's showing me it's stuck with a whole bunch of living slime on it. Now this stuff is junk, but you can take it off of the damaged machinery and add it to your inventory if you want, but I'm just going to discard it. So we're just going to get rid of it, and now the damaged machinery is fixed. And it gave me some nanites, which is kind of like money, but more valuable than the basic units. There's a bunch more creatures. I don't know what the heck these are, but they've got basically a shark tail. And they are like little, I don't know, platypus bears or something. Running around in a herd. Hey, there's another one of those big crabby thingies. What's going on? Hey, buddy. See, they're all scared of you. These little rocks give you resources. Okay, enough of that. So, you've got this important tool that you use on planets called the Analysis Visor. And I hold left trigger to look through it. It highlights things like hazardous flora, like this thing here. If we get too close to that plant, it actually explodes and does damage. But when you're looking at a plant you've not discovered before, you hold the right trigger, it'll scan it, and it takes a couple seconds, and then it goes, oh, this is the name of that plant, and these are the resources it will give you when you mine it. And it does. You do the same thing for minerals, so like rocks and stuff, and then you do the same thing for animals, except animals, it won't tell you, it doesn't tell you what resources they give you. All animals give you the same stuff when you kill them, for the most part. By looking through the Analysis Visor, you can also look at points of interest, like there's some star bramble over there. This white symbol, that's a magnetized ferrite deposit. It's basically a deposit of resource, of a type of resource, and we go over there and we mine it, but not like we mine these plants with the mining beam, like this. Oh shoot, there's a sentinel nearby. That's not good. So you shoot the laser at the rock or plant or whatever until it breaks apart, and you get a bunch of resources for it. Now, this deposit that we were looking at just a minute ago works differently. We have to use the terrain manipulator, and it's more like actual mining, where we take chunks out of the ground and get resources. I just want to get this dihydrogen. I got to use a lot of this dihydrogen all the damn time. Okay, let's get out of here. So this magnetized ferrite deposit, it's not too far. It's only about 300 units away. We'll just keep running through. So these big weird looking plants, this is the star bramble that we saw through the Analysis Visor. We can walk up to it and collect this stuff. This is one of the plants that I have in like my indoor hydroponics farms, but this is when it's growing out in the wild. This is one of the kind of plant type things that is specific to a certain kind of planet. Oh, more dihydrogen. I'll just leave it though. Let's get to the magnetized ferrite deposit. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's different components and upgrades you can put on your multi-tool. Every multi-tool starts off with just the basic mining beam so that you can harvest resources. As the game progresses, you learn the terrain manipulator, which we'll see in just a second. Oh, hey, I already harvested this. Okay. And you also can get weapons. This is the bolt caster. It goes pew 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 pew. And then I've also got the scatter blaster, which is basically the game's shotgun. It goes kabang. Thankfully, all of these weapons use the same basic projectile ammunition, so you don't gotta think too hard about different kinds of ammo like in just about every other game. So this is what the terrain manipulator does. Takes chunks away from the ground. Now, if there was more stuff here, we would get resources for doing that, but we'll still get some. Let's shoot that piece. There we go. Got a little bit of magnetized ferrite for that. Let's do that little bit there, and that little bit there. So, I must have previously done this because normally the ground would be kind of flat and it would look kind of shiny, and then we would dig out this entire crater and we would get magnetized ferrite for it. You always get a little bit of silicate powder now when you use the terrain manipulator, which is another basic resource that you use for all sorts of different stuff. Let's do something more exciting, though. So here's something that I liked to do when I was playing this a lot some 2 years ago, after the next update first came out. Let's get this dihydrogen really quickly. Now you might have noticed that there's we're not just getting basic dihydrogen, we're also getting, what was that? That was like a crystal node or some crap like that. I forget what it's called. But sometimes when you're mining certain resources or you're busting up crystals, you get something different in your inventory, like a crystal fragment. You just analyze it, basically you crack it open, and you get more resources. Sometimes it's the resource that you were mining, sometimes it's something different. In this case, we got more dihydrogen. So we're going to run over here. I tagged what's called a knowledge stone, and this is how I learned so many words of the different species. I would spend a lot of time running around and checking out these knowledge stones. And each knowledge stone teaches you a word. You don't get to choose what kind of word it is, so you have less option than when you talk to an NPC on a spaceport. When you talk to an NPC, there we go, we have learned the Korvax word for anomaly. Then we talk to this knowledge stone. You have learned the Korvax word for hollow terminus. Okay, that's a complex one. Here's some damaged machinery. Let's investigate it. Get rid of the Fecium, which is jamming it for some reason. And boom, we got some Starship launch fuel. That's actually pretty helpful. I go through a lot of that. Oop, Sentinel. Okay, so these Sentinels, they're like the main bad guy in the game. Think of them as the cops in Grand Theft Auto, except their idea of crimes is very different from Grand Theft Auto's cops. So if they're nearby and you're mining resources with the mining beam, or you're killing creatures, they come over and investigate. They actually get upset with you. So I just let him come up to me and scan me. If he's scanning you, or sorry, if a Sentinel is scanning you while you are mining resources, so that's why I instantly stopped when it said it was investigating, because if I kept going, it would scan me, get upset, and then actually go into combat mode and start attacking me. And I don't want to do that just yet. So what's other stuff we can do? Oh, we got to do these missions for killing creatures. We'll do that in a minute. Some other stuff you can do on planets is you can use these... let's move this... Oh, the starship's nowhere near me. Never mind. Bust up that crystal fragment. We need to sell some of this garbage. Let's get a warp cell. Oh, geez, I have another one. Okay. There we go. Let's get rid of that. So we're going to use some of these planetary charts. And this is the stuff that you get from the cartographer that I mentioned earlier. On your travels, you'll find these little things called bits of navigation data. And what you do with them is you take them to a cartographer on a spaceport, and you ask for different kinds of planetary charts. There's emergency planetary charts, where when we use this, it would detect a distress signal or something like that. There's the kind of regular ones where if we use this, it will detect a planetary outpost, like a trading station on the planet. There's this security channel, which will actually take us to like a manufacturing plant where it's patrolled by sentinels, and we can learn special blueprints there. And then the last one is alien cartographic data, where it will take us to an ancient artifact site. So let's use one of those. And it will scan the planet. And it will give us a location. Signal detected. So where is it leading us? Hopefully not off planet. Sometimes that happens. Very rarely, though. Okay, so we're going to go over to that ancient ruin. Now, as you can see, if we've traveled there on foot, it would take us 5 hours to get there. That's not happening. What we're going to want to do is get our starship. So we can run all the way back to the starship, which is 1,000 units away. It wouldn't take us long to get there. But why do that when you can summon your vehicles straight to you? So we just got to find a decent landing spot. There we go. Look at that. There's our ship. So long as your ship has launch fuel, so long as its launch thrusters are powered up, you can summon it directly to you. So speaking of which, let's double check that. Here's a launch thruster. It has 40%, so I can still launch with it one more time after this one. We're going to take off. and it just used up another 20%. So I've got one more launch, so we're good. Now I'm going to fly there. This will take 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly into space, and we're going to exit the atmosphere. Ooh, Jesus. We got a fleet warping in right in front of us. That's pretty cool. That's just good timing right there. Okay, so there's another frigate we could land on and inspect if we want to buy it. And there's also a bunch more frigates that we can recruit. Or sorry, that's a freighter, excuse me. And those are frigates. But we want to go check out this ancient ruin we scanned, so we're going to activate the super fast pulse drive. And we're there in 3 seconds as opposed to 10 minutes. Alright, so we're flying back into the atmosphere of Votar's Prime. Now the reason I call this place Votar's Prime is that this star system is in a region of the galaxy called the Votar's Expanse. Every star system is located in a different region. There's a bunch of different regions. Like some of the ones nearby are like the Egenad Instability or something like that. They have very interesting names. So this is the Votar's Expanse, and I want to explore the Votar's Expanse as much as I can. So I named this planet Votar's Prime because this is kind of my base of operations. So this is an ancient ruin. We've got another knowledge stone. Can we activate it? Yes, we can. Let's learn another Korvax word. We learned the Korvax word for hopes. And then we walk up here. There's another knowledge stone. And the music instantly changed. Just like that. This is kind of like the ancient ruins music. It's very ambient, very chill. It would be something different if we walked up to a building that had been like destroyed or something. It would be a lot more creepy and foreboding. We'll probably check one out a little bit later, as a matter of fact. But here's what we do. We need to talk to this strange artifact. And this is what happens. Whoop. Brilliant light erupts from the ancient marker. It encircles me, engulfing my mind with the memories and voices of the Korvax echoes. The dreams of entities who once worshipped here become my own. For countless generations, the entities of the Korvax disconnected and passed on into the echoes naturally. Each disconnection added to the knowledge and soul of the convergence. Our home was Korvax Prime. Within its foundations, we stored the memories of our race, an ever-evolving equation that defines us. So the three main races have a lot of backstory in this game. It's pretty cool. The Vy'keen are like a warrior race, and they've been trying to eradicate the Sentinels for millennia. The Korvax are a more machine-oriented race, which don't really die. Well, sorry, they do die, where an entity will leave its shell, and then that shell can actually be taken back over by a different Korvax life form. And then the Gek are the little beaked dudes who previously went on a gigantic murderous rampage and had a massive war against the Korvax and basically blew up their home planet and enslaved them. So there's a lot of backstory between the three races in the game. It's very interesting. So we can actually seek knowledge of the past, which it will send us probably to another ancient ruin where we can find more stuff. But we're going to seek help with language. My knowledge of the Korvax convergence increases, and it taught us another Korvax word. So that's it for that ancient ruin. Let's take a look at something else. Something more exciting, how about? We're going to do a secret cartographic data. So this is for a secure site of interest. It's going to take us to a much more dangerous location. Getting a lot of people dropping in. Gaylord. Hugh Stocks, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming by, man. I know it's not Stellaris, but similar vein. I highly recommend this game for those of you... so this found a resource depot. We'll go check it out. But I highly recommend this game for those of you who really like the exploration and discovery aspects in Stellaris. If that's like a big draw for you, then that will be a very big draw for you in this game, because that is like one of the core facets of this game, and that was always kind of on the mind of Sean Murray and Hello Games since they first started designing this game. I'm just going to grab these resources. Oh, geez. Okay, so this happens often. My mining beam ran out of charge, so we can recharge it by going to our inventory. And I need to go to the tech... Where is it? Multi-tool, dumbass. So in the multi-tool, you'll see that the mining beam is now glowing a little bit red, and it has 0% energy, so I can hit the X button to charge it, and I can either select carbon, which will take 100 units of carbon, or 34 units of condensed carbon. I'm going to use the condensed carbon because that will take up less. There we go. Now I'm just going to finish up mining these blue dihydrogen crystals, because these are important. The reason why I always stop and get dihydrogen crystals is because dihydrogen is used for frigate fuel to send off my frigates on expeditions, and it's also used for starship launch fuel. So I cannot, your starship cannot take off without starship launch fuel, and you can construct it with dihydrogen. It's one of the resources you need to use for it. I play Elite Dangerous. Had to come see No Man's Sky. They're very, very, very similar vein. Like, I understand that in Elite Dangerous you can actually land on planets in that game now too and explore them a little bit. Okay, so our launch thruster ran out. We need to charge it back up with a thingy of starship launch fuel. I'm running kind of low on starship launch fuel, so I'm going to craft some more. So I hit the craft product. We're going to go to consumable, and it's right here. Starship launch fuel requires 40 dihydrogen and a piece of metal plating. So I actually have to craft some metal plating first. This requires some ferrite dust, which is another component, or sorry, another basic resource, excuse me. Let's craft 5 of these. Boop, there's 5 things of metal plating. Now we'll go back to consumable to craft some starship launch fuel. I can craft 5 of those. Boop, there we go. Now I'll take this, put it in the same stack. There we go. Okay, so we're in space. Shoot. Too close, gotta fly further away. Yeah, but you're always stuck in a vehicle. That's very true. That is very true of Elite Dangerous. Damn it, I'm still too close. Come on. There we go. Let's just engage the pulse drive really quickly. These asteroids, they actually serve a purpose. You shoot them, you get some resources. Which is pretty neat. And you do actually kind of need them. You get, what is it, tritium? And that powers one of your starships. I believe it powers the pulse drive, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we're re-entering Votar's Prime. Here is a resource depot. It's probably being patrolled by Sentinels. No atmospheric landing either. Oh, okay. Whoa, what the? Okay, that was interesting. Let's have a look-see. Oh, hey, was that a knowledge stone? Yeah, that is a knowledge stone. Okay, let's land up here. Can we? Come on. Come on. There we go. And the worlds aren't vibrant like this. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Some of the worlds are really weird. Some of them can get very stale. I do more exploration in space than planetside. That's fair. So Elite Dangerous is like way more space exploration. There's still stuff you can do in space in No Man's Sky. Like you can actually get into little battles and stuff in space, but a lot more of it is planetside. Well, I shouldn't say a lot more of it, but a lot of it. So I guess Elite Dangerous is a lot more like actual space exploration, whereas No Man's Sky, you're actually landing on planets and moons and stuff. And there are some very weird planets. I've landed on planets where there's no plants and there's no animals and very few minerals, but everywhere you look, there's bubbles. I'm not joking. Big goddamn bubbles just floating there. It was really weird. Okay, so this is a resource depot. It's being, as you can see, it's being patrolled by Sentinels. And the reason for that is these big spheres are holding resources. And we can actually attack them and destroy these little buildings, and we'll get the resources inside when we do that. However, once we do that, the Sentinels will get pissed and start attacking us. And they'll actually call in reinforcements if we attack them and start destroying them. So I'm just going to open up all these boxes. They don't care that we're opening up these boxes. We can do this all day. Need to get rid of the rust on some of these green containers. But that yellow container, you can search that. This little red container, you can search that. These white containers, you can search those. You just get free shit. Free stuff is always good. I'm a freeloader. I'll take my free food stamps, no problem. Okay, so now this is a waypoint beacon. I'll activate it. It'll save the game. So next time, if I quit out and reload the game right now, I'll respawn right here. but it also kind of mapped out this area of the planet. And now, since I discovered this area of the planet, we can back up a little bit. If I actually open this particular planet itself, you can see that I can rename and upload this area. I can do the same with newly discovered plants and newly discovered animals and newly discovered minerals. You can rename them and upload them if you want. So these are the Irely Everglades. I don't care. The name sounds fine to me, so I'm going to hold the square button and upload it. And now everybody else who comes to this area of this planet will land in the Irely Everglades, and it'll say I was the discoverer. There's also this upload all button on the discovery screen, so if you scan a whole bunch of minerals and plants and animals, and you land on, and you do this on several planets, and you find several waypoints, you can use this nice convenient upload all button. It'll upload everything to the discovery server for No Man's Sky, so that future explorers come across this, they see that you discovered all this cool stuff, and you get nanites for each discovery you make. See, I have 14,000 nanites because of all the discoveries that I've made. So there's that. Alright, let's go blow some shite up. Depot container. Blow it up. There we go. Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. Okay. So the Sentinels are pissed. And there's a bunch of them. They're going into attack mode. Let's kill them. Get out of my face. Goodbye. Now, it's a little tough to see, but near the top right, just beneath where it has like my ammo count and stuff like that, you can see the little black diamonds with a red dot in the middle. That is basically the wanted level. Normally it starts off at 1 when a Sentinel initially gets upset with you because you're like mining resources or you shot one of them or something like that. But because we did something grievously atrocious, we instantly jumped up to level 3. So they're very unhappy with us, and we actually get to encounter the little Sentinel Walker doggy thingy. It has a lot of different abilities than the basic Sentinel bot. It's got that big laser thingy that he shot at us. Ooh, he can also jump at us like that. Let's just shoot him with the Bolts Caster from a distance. Pew, 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 pew. Hey! I forget how accurate these guys are with that stupid thing. Alright, you want to get in my face? Have some Scatter Blaster to the face, boy. So every time we destroy one of them, we get some Pugnium, which is a special resource. When we get these combat supplies, we can bust them open, get back some ammo, and it'll refill our shields. So now reinforcements arrive in a few seconds. Let's fight the Sentinel Walker, because that's what the cool kids do, right? Okay, so there's a couple basic drones again. But these are actually combat drones. They have a piece of armor plating on the front of them. Oh my god, the Walker is blasting the snot out of me. So we can blow off the piece of armor plating, and then no matter what we do, we shoot this Sentinel, and it takes damage now. Oh, we got a superheated rainstorm approaching too. Brilliant. So between the Sentinels and the weather, we are kind of running into a bit of a situation here. Get out of here. Where did the things go? Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, the Sentinel Walker. That's this big bad boy right here. So we got to do special things. There's several pieces of armor plating. There's one right there that I just blew off the top. And there's a couple pieces of armor plating on its legs. You got to destroy those. Now, the only reason that I am making mincemeat of this thing is because my Scatter Blaster has several really powerful upgrades on it. Okay, so that superheated rainstorm is messing up my vision. There we go. Okay, so now we can just shoot the main portion of the Walker, and we'll actually do damage to it. So let's just go pew, 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 pew. So you can see that the Walker brain is taking damage. Just need to shoot it in the main core area. Oop, gotta reload. If we hit it right about in the middle there, near the top of that bottom plate, we actually do that bonus damage. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. I got to try to dispatch this guy pretty quickly, because this rainstorm is causing problems. Come on, there we go. We're getting there. Thermal protection falling. I'll explain what that is in a minute. There we go. We got him. Okay, so he also drops a very big combat supply thing. Oh, it just fell into the... Get back here. There you are. Let's blast it open. Alright, so there's more Sentinel reinforcements coming. And we're actually in a cave. We're going to hide in this cave from the Sentinels. And this will actually protect us from the crappy weather outside a little bit too. So it'll just take a minute and then they'll go away. So it says they're searching. As you can see, it'll take about 40 seconds, then they'll lose interest. While we're down here, let's take a look at these minerals. Oh, okay, I already scanned these. I thought I did. Potentially synthetic. There we go. I don't want to... Ooh, hey, there's special things. You can sometimes find special things like this humming sack where you open them up and you get a valuable item called an albumin pearl. There's different kinds. The problem is, if I go walk over to it and I open that up, any nearby sentinels actually get pretty pissed. So we don't want to do that just yet. We're going to wait for them to give off their search. There we go. Sentinel force deactivated. Okay. So you can actually go full cheater mode and simply use your terrain manipulator to quickly dig yourself your own cave to hide in. Alright, so there's still a storm going on. If you look in the lower left, there's two different bars. The red bar is your hazard protection. That is always going down when you're on a more hazardous planet, or when there's hazardous weather like this superheated rainstorm right now. The white bar below that is your life support. Your life support always goes down when you are moving. It goes down faster when you're sprinting, and when you use your jetpack, it goes down really fast, because your jetpack actually uses your life support. So it's always important to actually keep your life support renewed when you need to with oxygen. And then your hazard protection, you only really need to renew that when you're on a hazardous planet. So let's get out of here. What are we going to do now? You know what? Let's move all this into my high capacity inventory really quick. I need to get rid of some stuff. I'm carrying a whole bunch of junk right now. Let's move that to the starship. Okay, bust up that crystal fragment. There we go. So I actually have some items that if I was interacting with certain NPCs, I could give them to them as gifts to increase my standing with their race. Like this Vy'keen effigy, I could give this to Vy'keen NPCs and increase my standing with the Vy'keen. Same with the Gek relic. I give this to Gek, increase my standing with the Gek. This Korvax casing, same thing. Give it to Korvax, I increase my standing. Vibrating runes. Where did I get this from? Approximately 300 years old. Was this artifact part of a hoard buried with its owner? The remains of a secret cache? Or just forgotten rubbish? Time has rendered it impossible to tell. So this is actually... Sometimes when you are going on like archaeological expeditions by exploring ancient ruins like the one we encountered earlier, you can find old treasures like this. And this is actually pretty valuable. 229,801 units. It's not cheap. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of garbage I need to get rid of. I got a lot of navigation data too. Alright, we're going to take off and go to a different star system because we're going to do some investigating. We got to check out some cool stuff. Well, you know what? Better than that, why don't you guys let me know in chat, like, what do you want to see me do exactly? If there's anything in particular that you'd like me to go check out. I was thinking of flying to a different system and investigating one of those weird planets that I mentioned. So we could go do that, or we could go back to my base and I could keep constructing it a little bit. Oh, we gotta repair this frigate. I totally forgot about that. This is one of the little things involved in maintain. Oh, where'd it go? It just disappeared. Space battle. Easier said than done, but yeah, we can do that. I will admit that the space combat is unfortunate. Actually, the combat in general in this game is one of the weaker points, but it's a very minor complaint. The fact that it's even there at all is pretty cool. Atlas Station. You want us to find an Atlas Station? We'll do that in just a minute. Captain Friend, our ship is badly damaged. You will help us fix it. Yes, let's inspect the damage report. Fleet auto diagnostics report moderate damage to internal systems detected. Manual repairs needed. Crew incapable of performing maintenance. Mark damaged component. You learn very quickly that the crews on your frigates are incapable of all sorts of things. You're constantly going over to their ships and fixing them for them. So there's 2 damaged components on this frigate. Now, it's not like a freighter where we can go inside and check out all the little nitty-gritty details inside. But we can run around in these little areas on the outside of the frigate to go repair the damaged components, like this defense grid panel. What's the problem? The transmission box, the gearing mechanism for the device, the lubricant that keeps it operational appears to have been replaced with an otherworldly green goo, and the gears are now stuck, so we need to repair it with a little bit of tritium. We're going to do that, and that's done. So now the pieces look actually kind of lined up. There is actually an animation for each damaged component, and it corrects itself and changes to a different animation when you fix it, which is really cool. All sorts of little attention to detail. So I need to find the next component, which is over this way near the back of the ship. Am I going the right way? I hope so. In through this door. There we go. Okay. So it's probably engine core. Okay. Repair damage. Internal pressure breach. The gearing mechanism for the device. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Repair it. And if we watch the engine core, all of a sudden... We might want to get out of here before we get roasted, eh? So the frigate has been repaired. We can send it out on another expedition if we so chose. It's just the little details like this that, like, it's kind of a do-nothing sort of little gimmick, but it's cool. It's little details like this can really make or break a game. Extra cool little stuff that you can do. I need to land on my freighter really quick and sell a bunch of the junk that I have in my inventory, because I have a lot. So if you give me 1 second. Whoops. There we go. Come on. Initiate docking procedure. Thank you very much. Oh, there's a bunch of ships that just flew out. I've also heard from a couple other people that the VR in this game, I should say, this game in VR is fantastic. You can use VR, or sorry, you can play it in VR on the PlayStation and probably on the PC too. Yes, Q-Stocks, I totally agree. The fact that you can land on your little frigates at any time, not just when they're damaged, but at any time, you can land on those frigates and kind of walk around and explore them a little bit. Let's take a look in these boxes again for a bunch of junk. More junk to sell. I'm okay with that. Come on. There we go. Alright, there we go. And coming up on the last one. That's it. Alright, now I can talk to the Galactic Trade Terminal. And let's sell some crap. Silica powder? No. Condensed thermic condensate. It's good to keep this for it, because this is part of advanced crafting things, but I'll just get rid of it. Herox, don't need it. Get rid of it. What else do we got? Ion battery, paraffinium, Geknip, don't need that, go away. Defense chit, oxygen, wiring loom, blah, 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 blah. Antimatter housing, I'm going to keep that for a little bit. Lemium, let's get rid of that. Leg meat, this is from killing creatures. You get meaty chunks sometimes when you kill creatures, it's pretty comical. Storm crystal, get rid of that. Vibrating runes, sell that for a whole bunch. Tetra cobalt, don't want that. Gek relic, get rid of that. Aronium, get rid of that. Vikine effigy, get rid of that. Relatticed arc crystal, these are very valuable right now. 500,000 for selling all those. Quad servo, that's from taking out the little doggy sentinel, and the walker brain is for taking out the giant walker sentinel. Let's get rid of these neural ducts. That's about another 500,000 right there. And now be aware that the only reason that I have so much stuff is I actually have spent a fair bit of time in this game where I did a whole bunch of basically resource grinding. I harvested a lot of basic resources that I was able to refine into a much more advanced resource and sell it for a lot of money. And by doing that, I was able to buy a whole bunch of really cool stuff. That's the only reason I have so much stuff going for me right now. When you start the game, you have nothing. And I cannot stress that enough. You have nothing. So when you start brand new in the game, there's still quite a lot of stuff to do, but as you spend more time, you learn more crafting recipes, you learn more construction templates, you get more standing with the alien races and the guilds and stuff, so you get more missions. You get better ships and more technologies that allow you to explore better and warp to other stars. It really branches up, it really branches open the more stuff you can do, the more time you spend in the game, which is really cool. Okay, we're going to warp to a particular star system, but I would need to mark it with a waypoint. Where the hell? There it is, half a dozen weird places. Okay, so we're gonna boop. I'm gonna mark a waypoint in the galaxy map in the system, half a dozen weird places. You'll see why in just a minute. We'll check out. Tell you what, we'll check out the Atlas station in a little bit if I can get to it. But I want to fly to this place where I just planted a waypoint first, because it's actually a pretty cool star system. Here it is. Berjak Voplak or whatever, but I named it half a dozen weird places. So, now before you warp to a star system, there's actually different things. Initially, you can only warp to a yellow star, and then you need to use copper to craft a cadmium drive, which allows you to warp to red stars, and then you warp to a red star, and you use the cadmium there to craft a different kind of jump drive, which I believe is the emerald drive. The emerald drive that lets you warp to a green star. You get emerald there, and then you build the Indian drive, which allows you to warp to a blue star. So there is lots of semblances of progression in this game, and it's really cool. The other thing too is that each system has a dominant life form. For example, this one dominant life form is the Gek because of that little beak. Here in the Yanga system, it's basically an uninhabited system, so there's no dominant life form. This one is Korvax. This one is Korvax again. This one is Viking because of the eye, the funky little eye thing. So we're going to warp here. Boop. Space battles are a lot more, like, I can't directly get into a space battle confrontation unless I intentionally attack an NPC. In which case, if I recall correctly, the Sentinels do come after us, and it's a pain in the ass. But there are situations where you warp into a system, and you warp into a space battle. Like, you warp in the middle of a little fleet of ships. There's like a freighter, and it has some frigates, and they're actually already fighting off some space pirates, and you can jump in on that battle. There's also times where you're just flying from planet to planet, and then you get scanned by pirates. And you can either try to fly away from them, or when you talk to them, they're like, "Hey, oh hey, speak of the devil! We're in a space battle." Look at that! We just warp right in the middle of a space battle. Let's go take out these pirates. Woo! Oh, he's right here. Come on. Where'd he go? I'm trying to follow the little red arrow. So the combat in space is pretty straightforward. You just got to try to line up your reticule, which is in the middle. And you got to try to get that little white circle, which is kind of like the targeter on their ship. That's where you're trying to move your reticule to. See that little white circle that's kind of following the ship around? It's basically guiding you. Hey, shoot here, and you'll hit them. Okay, hold still. Got to shoot them up. You do more damage when you shoot them in the back as well. There, he's dead. Okay, next, try to find more targets. Oh, over here to the left. There you are. He's over here by this freighter. Okay, so we actually could fly away with our pulse engine if we wanted to, but we're going to finish off these guys. Because the cool thing about getting into the middle of a space battle like this is how you get yourself a frigate. Or not a frigate. This is how you get yourself a freighter. And your first freighter is acquired this way. You warp into a random system, and you're in the middle of a space battle, and you can help them out and rescue the little fleet and the freighter, and then you fly aboard the freighter, and if it's your very first freighter that you flown aboard and helped out that way, they'll be like, "Oh, thanks. You should take command of the freighter. Like, we'll work for you, and you get it for free, which is pretty dope." So a fun trick to do is hold off and don't just automatically get the very first freighter you see, because it might not be a very good one. It might only have like 16 inventory slots on it. If you hold off until you find one that has like 25 or 30 inventory slots or some shit like that, then you might get much more bang for your buck, because those bigger freighters are way more expensive. The small freighters might be only like 8 million, 9 million units, but a really big one can be anywhere between like 50 to 90 million units, excuse me. Okay, so now we communicate with the freighter captain, blah blah blah, fighting interloper, Viking warrior, blah blah blah, request blah blah blah, reward. The life form, who must be the captain of this freighter, looks greatly relieved. They gesture as if to welcome me aboard their vessel. So let's go check it out. So there's your space battle, Hugstocks. I didn't even try. But we got one. Okay, so now they're sending me navigational data. And this frigate design is actually very similar to... Or not frigate. This freighter design is actually very similar to my actual freighter that I have. But if you notice, it's a totally different color. And it's a different size, too. So you can actually get freighters that are of similar design. Like this looks like an old school Clone Wars Star Destroyer, for example. Mine is longer and it's red and yellow. This one looks like it's blue and white. And when they're smaller, that's usually a bad sign that they have less inventory space. It's not always the case, but usually a bad sign. There are some really cool ship designs in this game. Some of the freighters look awesome. I think this is one of the cooler designs, this big Star Destroyer looking thing. So we landed on this freighter. We're going to go up to the bridge. But first we'll go check out the storage room and we'll steal a bunch of shite. But that's a cool looking fighter. Look at this ship. Take a look at this little fighter ship. Neat. And there's a couple more. So there's actually different types of ships, as I mentioned. These are actually fighter class. Let's take a look here. Oops, starship unoccupied. We need to talk to the pilot. Let's have a look-see. Gra! Interloper trade is acceptable. Okay, so we're going to make an offer on the lifeform starship. It's a C class. Doesn't say. That's weird. Okay, let's go to negotiate price. So as you can see, ours is an exotic with 31 slots. This one is a fighter with 15 slots, and it's only a C class. So we're not going to buy it. But there's different ship types. There's fighters, there's exploration ships, there's shuttles, there's exotic, which are these weird looking ones like the one that I have. The exotic ships tend to almost always be S ranked. They're very expensive and they're very weird looking. The fighter ships are kind of like the mascot ships of No Man's Sky. That's what you'll see most No Man's Sky promotional art and wallpapers and stuff. That's the kind of ships that you'll see most of the time. Okay, so we got an ion battery. Let's check out this navigation data. Don't really need it, but that's okay. And I guess we got some more condensed carbon. That's fine. All right, let's go to the bridge. Yeah, so I'm going to land on one of the weird planets in this system to show you how weird some of the planets can be. Actually, there's a couple weird planets that we could land on in this system. So here is the captain. Gra, pathetic interloper, battle glory, Viking gives, So, as you progress in the game and you learn more words, you'll have a better understanding of what these life forms are telling you. When you first start in the game, all of this looks like all of it. So it can be very pseudo confusing. All right, let's inspect the freighter. Let's take a look at it. Oh, 28 slots. That's actually not too bad. But as you can see, different color from my freighter. Let's compare. It's worth the exact same amount in units, but it has 3 less inventory slots, and it has a little bit less hyperdrive range. It's a little tough to tell in this little icon, but my freighter is also longer. So I think it looks cooler because it's longer. So I'm going to decline. We'll talk to the guy again. Blah, 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 blah. They gesture towards the control panel of their freighter as if to suggest I take command. I'm going to request payment instead. And they gave me a bunch of chromatic metal, which is a resource. So that's fine. Free stuff is free stuff. Alright. There's also other things you can do on the planets too while you're harvesting materials. There's portable stuff. There's a portable refiner you can drop down. There's a signal booster, which you can use navigation data with and pinpoint specific locations. You have a construction research unit, which you can learn new construction templates for constructing your base on a planet. And there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do. The portable refiner doesn't just refine resources for you, but you also have to power it with more resources. Like you got to put carbon in it, for example. But then it'll refine like ferrite dust, which is basically iron dust, into pure ferrite, which pure iron. If I understand my Latina correctly. Okay, so let's take a look. Spooky floaty spires, perfect. So you can see this is called a shattered planet, whereas this one here is an acrid planet, so it's a toxic planet. What's another good example? There's got to be another planet. There's like 6 planets in here. So let's take a look at this one. This is a stellar corruption detected. Doesn't tell me what kind of planet it is. This one's a metallic planet. We're going to check them all out. Well, not all of them, but we're going to check out the shattered planet. We're going to check out the stellar corruption detected planet, and we're going to check out the metal planet really quick. And then we'll try and get to the Atlas station, like Ryan asked. So there's a reason I named this place Spooky Floaty Spires. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's actually 3 different levels of thrust in your ship. I'm holding the circle button, which is B on Xbox, and that gives you like your most powerful booster. If you just hold right trigger, you're not going as fast as with that booster. So like we're kind of cruising along at a decent pace, excuse me. But if I hit that booster, boom, they go much faster, and then we hit left and right bumper to activate pulse drive, but you can only use that in space, and that's for like the super fast transport. Okay, so this place has changed actually, because there were rectangular spires that would just float in the sky. Listen to that ambiance. It's just really creepy. Okay, so we got a bunch of unidentified minerals in this area. This is how you inspect stuff with the analysis visor. You point at something and it says unidentified mineral, unidentified plant, unidentified creature. You hold right trigger. So I'm holding left trigger to look through the visor, and hold right trigger, you scan it, and then it goes bloopity bloop bloop. This is what it's called, this is what it gives you, and what this does is any plants or minerals that actually give 2 resources, so this one gives ferrite dust and carbon, but we don't know that it gives us that until we scan it. So this unidentified mineral, if I zod, oops, not the bolt caster, you ding-a-ling it to the mining beam. Okay, so if I zod this with the mining beam and we harvest it, boop, all I got from that was cobalt. But if I scan it, whoop, there we go. It gives us cobalt and silver. Now we mine it, and we get the cobalt still, but we also get a little bit of silver. Not very much, but a little bit. So let's go ahead and scan some of these minerals, eh? The other thing, too, is that it says units received. You do get a small amount of units for scanning stuff. When you start off, it's like it's a very, very small amount. Minerals are almost always a very small amount you get for scanning them, but plants and animals, you can actually get upgrades for your visor, where scanning plants and animals is actually a very useful and reliable and effective source of getting lots of money. This place is still kind of creepy, though. Okay, so This red dot in the analysis visor over there, and there was another one somewhere else over there. Those are creatures. They're creatures that I have not scanned yet. So we're going to approach one. This one. He's really close. We're going to approach him, and we're going to scan him. What the hell? What is that? It's just like a little prism with like a rocket engine on the underside, and it's just kind of cruising around. Look at that. I'm trying to run away. Can we feed it? Probably need creature pellets, eh? Maybe not. Look at him go. This is a legit creature, and if you notice, we got about 50,000 or so units for scanning it. That's a really weird creature. But anyways, like I was saying, if we go to the multi-tool, these upgrades for your analysis visor, you can see there it says fauna analysis rewards plus 7,822%. Flora analysis rewards plus 6,653%. So when you get 3 of those, that give you like plus 7,000% on the rewards for scanning plants and animals. It's a pretty reliable and effective source of getting a bunch of money. Just land on a bunch of undiscovered planets repeatedly, scan the wildlife, scan the plants, scan the animals, and you get a whole bunch of money for it. What is that? Electric cube. Okay, let's check it out. There's another one of those creatures. Look at him go. That is a creature. That is not some thing. That is not a construct. That is a creature, according to this game. Alright, let's check out what this is. Electric cube. Hold right stick to pick up. New item recorded to catalog. Electric cube. What is that? Stabilized reality glitch. A rare stabilized glitch retrieved from a malfunctioning planet. Safe for rehousing inhabitable bases. So I can actually place this somewhere in my base as a decoration. That's cool. Alright, well that's new. Definitely different. Hey, there they go again. What's up? This looks like a daddy and little kid thing. Rocket prism. I don't even know what to call those. So with all those new things we just discovered, we can upload those to the server. 19 minerals discovered? Really? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and rename this. We're going to rename it the Rocket Prism. And you only have one opportunity to do this, so you got to get it right the first time. Done. It uploads. I get some nanites for it. Cool. There's also some flora and a bunch of minerals that we can upload as well. So we're going to go ahead and do this upload all. Boom. It did everything. 21 nanites for that. Alright, do you want to check out another weird planet, or you just want to try to get to the Atlas station, Ryan? It's your call, buddy. You're kind of touring this game right now, so just let me know. Alright, let's get out of here. So, the other planets that we can check out... Hang on. I gotta get close enough to scan them first. There we go. Did that work? No. Why not? What the hell? This should be... That's an acrid planet. Okay, that's not the one... That's not the one we're looking for. Boiling planet, so that's a super hot planet. Don't want to go there. Oops. This one. There we go. Metallic planet. That's what we want to look for. And the other one should be... right there. There it is. Stellar corruption. Okay. Well, Ryan, give me your input, buddy. And I'm all for it. We're gonna check out this stellar corruption. So there's the usual hot planets. There's toxic planets. There's radioactive planets. There's frozen planets. There's desert worlds. And then Votar's Prime is actually a tropical world. All of them can have their own environmental hazards. For example, that tropical planet, it has those super hot rainstorms. Desert planets can sometimes get freezing cold at night. And then, of course, all the rest, radioactive planets, cold planets, those all have their own hazards, obviously. So they're dangerous in their own right. Okay, this one, I can't remember what this planet looks like. Stellar corruption. What? Wait, what do you need my input on for? I had to leave for like a split second. Well, I was asking if you want to check out these other weird planets, or if you just want to try and go straight to that Atlas station. Okay, so this planet is strange because the atmosphere is so messed up that the entire color palette changes. Like, look at our cockpit. It's all dim and crappy looking now. Let's jump out really quick. Oh, that was an interesting save. Ooh, unidentified plant. Okay. Let's go ahead and scan this plant. And you'll see that we get a whole bunch of resources for it instead of just 200. 57,000 units for scanning a plant, as opposed to scanning a mineral, which only gives us 200. Let's go ahead and upload that really quick, get some nanites for it. Hopefully I don't have to scan anything else, or don't want to scan anything else. So this planet is odd because it has big-ass plants. You can't do anything with them. They're just kind of there. And they're kind of creepy. I don't like walking up to them. But, yeah, you can see what I mean. Like, the color palette is suddenly really, really... What the hell? Oh, hey. Flying things. I don't know what those look like. Well, it's up to you, man. I unfortunately have to hop out of here and grab some sleep. I think the Atlas stations are really neat and bizarre, so I'd say go for that, then explore the planets you were going to. Well, if you got to take off... actually, I just realized I've been streaming for close to 2 hours. I've been to Atlas stations before, so I was going to try to get to one if you haven't seen it. But we can check out... Like, it doesn't matter. We can check out the other planet as well. The metallic planet is kind of strange. Let's get off of that planet. I don't like that place. Gives me weird feelings. Weird feelings in the back of my spine. Where was the metallic planet? It had to have been this one. Pretty sure it was. Yep. This is the one. How long have I been streaming anyways? Can't quite tell. Joe Mama 69. Knock knock. Who's there? Joe. Joe who? Joe Mama. Alright. Landing on That's So Metal. Oh no, you're good, man. I've got No Man's Sky on PlayStation as well. Just figured for anyone else who wanted to see one. Oh, okay, that's fair. Well, we'll go do it anyways then. Just to finish off the day. I didn't really do anything like productive. Hey! I didn't do anything productive in these last 2 hours, but that's okay. Kind of just showing off the game a little bit, because I know there's a lot of people that watch my stuff and come by my streams that I've talked about this, and they've gone, yeah, I've never played it. And it's like, what? Okay, that's fair. And a few people have said that they'll watch me stream. So this is a metallic planet. It's very weird because everything looks like a giant jet turbine engine and thrown together in weird hexagonal shapes. Like, this big thing is actually one giant mineral that we can harvest. It would take a while, but I could zod it with the mining laser. And boop! Got resources. Look at that. Cool. And then there's this thing. I don't know what this is. Dihydrogen? Okay, I'm getting dihydrogen for that? Dope. These floating things, they are a plant, apparently. And I can't harvest them, which is interesting. So yeah, this is a metallic planet, or metal planet, I should say. Very strange. And you can see, the cool thing is, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but these rings that they added with the Visions update actually made some of the planets more, they stood out more. When the game first came out, there used to not be rings around any planets, but then with the Visions update, which added a lot of atmospherical graphical improvements and stuff, and just, as it says, improves the visuals in the game. It added some rings on planets, and they actually look really cool, both from space and when you're on the planet. Anyway, so that's that. That's a metallic planet. Let's get out of here. We're going to try and find the nearest Atlas station. And then that'll probably be it for me tonight, because I need to get to bed. Let's see. So, Hugh-Stocks, if that's okay with you, we're gonna go check out one of the most interesting aspects of the game, an Atlas station. I can't check out that freighter. Okay, so let's go back to the galaxy map. We are going to try and get to an Atlas station. There we go. Path selected, Atlas station. Let's go ahead and follow it. Hey, Mobius, is that a BC accent? No, not even close. I didn't realize there was an accent between BC and Alberta, to be totally honest. How far away is this damn thing? I can't even tell. Oh, there it is. Okay, I think that's it. Can I warp that far in a single go? Probably not. Oh, I can. Holy crap. Let's do it. If there isn't one here, there is actually a system, small one. My ex was from BC, then moved to Rocky Mountain House. Oh, okay, that's fair. No, I'm from Southern Alberta, buddy. If this system does not have an Atlas station, there is actually a nearby star system that I can fly to that somebody appropriately named, so it's easy to find. Nope. I don't think there is one here. That's unfortunate. Wait, there's something straight ahead. Let's see what this is. Hello? Oh, large ship proximity. There's supposed to be a freighter here, but I don't think it's loaded yet. Alright, so no Atlas station here, unfortunately. Let's repower the pulse engine, throw in some tritium. There we go. Alright, jump back into the galaxy map. Current mission. Nope. Galactic Core, Free Explorer, Atlas Station. There we go. My god, are you kidding me? I think it's... Okay. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna quit out of this. I need to go to Discoveries. There is a system called Atlas Alpha, discovered by Nas Online 4 years ago. Discovered 4 years ago by Nas Online. Yep. Some of these discoveries you come across and it's like, holy crap. It used to not say how long ago somebody discovered something, which was strange. So I'd be like, man, did somebody like recently fly through here? And then now you can actually look and be like, wow, somebody discovered this already? Is somebody in the area? And then you see, no, they discovered it a year and a half ago. Okay. Alright, so we set the waypoint to Atlas Alpha. Let's go find it. Not the current mission. We need to find the custom waypoint. It's over this way. Way back the way we came from. There it is. Atlas Alpha. Can we warp that far? Yes, we can. I have a whole bunch of upgrades to my hyperdrive, so I can go for pretty long hyperdrive jumps, thankfully. So we'll check out the Atlas station. I don't think there's really anything we can do there, because I've already visited this one. But it's kind of neat in its own way. And I haven't even touched on a large number of the stuff in this game. So Hugh-Stocks or anybody else who's still here who hasn't seen this game before, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't touched on. You can find portals which will actually warp you a big section. Like, they can warp you across the frickin' galaxy in a single go. There's black holes which can jump you closer towards the galactic core. Okay, so this is an Atlas station. Not a space station. There's still a space station. There's a space station over there, as a matter of fact, which we could go check out. But the Atlas station is bigger and kind of creepier. So go ahead and fly inside. Whee! You discovered this barren planet. I don't care. I'm a bit busy right now. Having that stupid planetary discovery thing in the way there kind of blocks the whole flying inside the Atlas station. Kind of annoying. Ooh, and we land. You see, there's that big black ball thingy. Don't know what it does. with something. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what do we do while we're in here? You have learned the Atlas word for we. So we can actually run around, and there's these little things on the ground, which when we get close, they will light up, and we can walk across them, and sometimes we learn some Atlas words, which are even more rare, like significantly rare, compared to learning the words of the different aliens. Let's pick that one up. Atlas word for hour. Ooh, hey, there's more in here. Oh, wait, that's not one of them. I'm on drugs. Let's look around. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, doot, doot. There's one. Come on. Come on. Blue, 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 blue. Didn't get anything from that one. That's unfortunate. Let's go up top here. There's sometimes some on these platforms up top. Not that one. What about over here? Nothing there. Oh, there's a couple more over there. Okay. So, fairly early on, if you follow what's called the Atlas path, you do get brought to one of these Atlas stations really early, and it actually does help progress part of the story. There's really weird events that happen in here, but it is pretty cool. It really starts to open up the game for you once you get to this point, in my opinion. Nothing there. Okay, and then we get close to these rings, and they light up and move a little bit. So what's here? We can search this thing, and we got a warp cell. We can search this thing, and we got another warp cell, I think. Camp Stwo Singularity Atlas interface. Let's interact with it. Okay. The Norio is our Xiomphai. Okay. Guhet gon rofink perkerkerble we liodshefern. Don't know what the hell it's saying. There's nothing else but the orb. We are alone in the universe. It fills my mind. I am consumed. We're gonna leave because there's nothing else to do. But you do get brought to these Atlas stations numerous times as you explore the galaxy and you progress on one of the main storyline mission paths. Alright, let's get out of here. I am thoroughly creeped out. One of the cooler parts of the game. The creativity that this development team must have for all the cool stuff that they've come up with. Like, it's really neat. Alright, let's get out of here. One last thing before I call it a night. I'm going to land in the space station because it's safe there. We're going to interact with a few NPCs. Oh, shoot. The docking port is on the other side. Damn. Okay, let's fly around. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There we go. What's up? And we fly inside. Atlas Alpha, Station Alpha. Oh, okay. Very original names. Alright, there we go. Restore point saved. Now, when we go talk to... I should be able to converse with these NPCs and learn some of their language. So let's talk to this Viking guy. Warrior, whatever. Excuse me. Rah, interloper. Blah, 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 blah. As I approach the warrior, I hear an item drop to the floor. They very deliberately ignore the faint beeping that has begun to sound near their feet. Despite my lack of understanding, I sense I should do likewise. So we're going to request dialect help. And what they do is they pull out a couple... They supposedly pull out a data pad with some different symbols on it. And depending on which symbol you select, you learn a similar word. The aggression symbol, you'll learn things like protect or destroy. Friendship symbol will be friendship-related stuff. Technology symbol, you'll learn words like upgrades or something. Trade symbol, you'll learn words like units or whatever. There's also like a mystery symbol that you can learn, and that teaches you like super basic words like as or our or it. So we're going to do the technology symbol. And we learned the Viking word for scan, so that's a pretty technology-related word. Talk to this Korvax guy. All blah blah must... I don't know what he's saying. Korvax's shell, let's request dialect help. And what does he pull out? Technology symbol, mystery symbol, trade symbol, travel symbol. We'll use the mystery symbol. He teaches me a word of their language, and we learned the Korvax word for nada. So we learned the Korvax word for 0. And here's a Gek. These guys are small. Kind of cool. So we're going to request dialect help with the Gek. Trade symbol, mystery symbol, aggression symbol, Gek symbol. Let's do the mystery symbol. There we go. We have learned the Gek word for excellent. Okay, so there's a few other Gek around here. And the other nice thing too is that thankfully, if you walk up to an NPC you've already talked to, it will tell you you have visited them already. Let's do the mystery symbol again. We've learned the Gek word for leave. So this guy, it says Assistant Nenta visited in that little gray box. So I've already talked to him. There's a traveler right there to the right. We'll talk to him in just a second. 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 2. The Gek is absorbed. Blah, blah, blah. Let's request dialect help. And we're going to do the travel symbol this time. We learned information. Okay. Talk to this Korvax. Blah, 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 blah. Request dialect help. And we're going to do the mystery symbol again. Korvax word for now. Okay, cool. Is there anybody else I need to talk to? I think I've talked to this guy already. Yep. How about this guy? Nope. Let's talk to him. Wow, that was interesting. He just did like a 720 in a split second. Request dialect help. And we're going to do... Let's do the trade symbol. We have learned the Korvax word for business. Okay. Now, you can encounter special guys like these. This is a traveler. I approached the lost traveler. Their skin is translucent, as if they were not truly here. Another traveler. Well, we should speak. Now, a traveler... there's NPC travelers, but a traveler is like a player. Have faith. Not all dreams are idle fancies. Not all fictions are untruths. Perhaps all of this is based in something real. Perhaps we did once exist long ago. Proof? Here, look at this. The traveler removes an object from their exosuit. It looks abstract, crimson, flesh-like, perfect. Let's look at the object. Sure. I look at the object and I'm filled with a sense of hope. Everything will be alright. I know it. Nothing can hurt me. All I have to do is believe and have faith. Not in a deity, not in some universal tyrant. No. It is this, right in front of me. Okay. That was strange. We can interact with them again. And we can barter with them. Let's give him 100 oxygen. And in return, he gave us some tetracobalt. Okay. Nothing fancy. Nothing good. I've already talked to that guy. Talked to that guy. I'm pretty sure I've interacted with everybody here. So a traveler is supposed to be like a player, but there's NPC travelers that you can encounter and you can interact with them too, just to help give the stations a little bit of life. We're gonna check out one of these side rooms in this space station really quick. Over here, go through these doors. Hey, bartender, what's going on? The trader stares at me after a moment's hesitation. The screen shows images of a council of their species. 10 lords in elaborate dress orbit various world clusters. Several images are highlighted in red and amber. Point to one of the life forms or point to all the life forms? See, this is sometimes the problem with skipping the dialogue boxes, as I often do, is that you miss key information. But then again, if you don't know many of their words, you miss a lot of key information too. Let's point at one of the life forms. I choose one of the lords at random, and the life form's eyes follow my finger. They begin to issue a disturbing scent from their glands, clearly shaken by my suggestion. They give me units wishing for me to leave. Well, that's unfortunate. Sorry. I guess I pissed them off. Let's see. Is there stuff we can get in here? We can search these plant pots, right? Yep. Search the plant pots, get some free stuff. Over here, we need to open this. What the hell? Okay. Strange. What is this? Remembrance required. Okay, I don't have one of those, whatever that thing is. So let's just walk out of there. And, oh, hey. These little devices, you get some nanites or some navigation data, one of the two. One last thing you can do that they added with the next update about 2 years ago, you can change your appearance. So let's change my race. You can. I look like a Korvax right now. You can change your race to be Viking. Yes, change it. And voila, you look like the Viking. And you can customize it too. Let's change the head type. There we go. That's one. That's another one. Let's do that one. We can also do this one. So on and so forth. You can also look like a Gek if you want to. And there we go. A Gek with goggles, because goggles are very fashionable. You can also look like a Traveler. And these are the most unique ones by far. We got this glowing head with gyroscopes moving around it. There's this guy. He's pretty neat. This guy, it's Pyramid Head. What's another good one? There's another one I thought. Oh, no. I know that this one is super popular amongst other people. This little glowing head in the gyroscope, that's super popular. And then we can also choose Anomaly, and this actually makes us look human. So we can choose different helmets depending on what we like. You can customize to the full extent, change your colors, make them look like whatever you want. That's for the helmet. You can change the colors on your torso too, and change the torso style. And then armor is basically that big plate in front. You can change that, change its color as well. Let's make it black because everything goes good with black, right? Change what your backpack looks like, so on and so forth. The list goes on. Would you like to apply changes? No. It'll probably revert me back to my Korvax shape, and that's it. So, I mean, like, there's lots of cool stuff you can do in this game. Highly recommend it. If one of the big draws for you in Stellaris is the anomalies and situation log and the whole discovery stuff that you can do in Stellaris. If you want to bring that down to a much smaller scale and discover all sorts of cool things on individual planets yourself, highly recommend this game. The developers, Hello Games, they continually update it pretty regularly, and all the updates over the last 4 years have all been free. This game has been overhauled so many times, so much from its original release. It's, aside from some major core mechanics like scanning for new plants and animals and stuff like that, and harvesting resources, but like the resources themselves have been overhauled so much. Like, there's been so much that has changed. It's not even, it barely even resembles the original game that came out in 2016 that got crapped on so badly when it first launched. I highly recommend it. It's available on PS4 and Xbox and PC. So yeah, big thank you to everybody who came by to watch me playing this live. I know it was something different. Like I said, I just needed a bit of a break from Stellaris. Those of you in the future who will be watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to hear more of my babbling, and I might stream more No Man's Sky if you mention you would like to see me do more of it. Those of you, if you have a PS4 and you have this game, hit me up. My PSN ID is Mobius_Y, not a space like on Xbox, but with an underscore. So if you have this game, it'd be cool to link up and we do some multiplayer stuff together as well. But big thank you to Joe Mama 69, Jeremy Gaming, Ryantium, Hugh Stocks, Chrono, Tony Knott, and many others who were not active in chat, but I saw you guys were here. Haiku, Sergman, Gaylord, not Chrono, sorry, Commander Root, Billikirs, all you folks who dropped in, even if it was just for a little while. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm done for tonight. I'll be back on Friday. Probably going to stream something else. Probably not going to stream this again. Good night, Chrono. Thanks for coming by tonight, buddy. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed yourself. And we are getting that Stellaris update very soon, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the week, folks, and I'll see you Friday.